Hi everyone, this is Hudspace. I'm here with you trying to going to take a few minutes and try to explain a basic setup in mapping this device to your synth, to your hardware synths, and should work for the soft synths as well, as long as your connections are good. This is the Faderfox EC4. There doesn't seem to be a ton of educational content out there about how to use this little device, and it's a really cool controller. It's very compact, works very well for my particular use case here because I don't have a ton of space, and I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat. But it's not incredibly intuitive to initially figure out, and I didn't find the manual super helpful. No offense to the Faderfox guys, but it just it all makes perfect sense and is fairly easy to use once you figure it out. There's so much functionality built into this thing in terms of controllability, from very low resolution to very high resolution. You can control all kinds of parameters, both, like I said, both hardware and software. At least theoretically. I have yet to try to map this to my arteria pigments, but that's probably my next project. Anyway, I'm going to jump right in and just show you how I map some basic parameters to my Novation Peak. I have already, this is my, just to zoom out a little bit, this is my fairly simple setup here. I've got a Peak, base station 2, a Digitakt, a black box, and a hardware sequencer here, Pyramid. And I've already, in my RD2000 stage piano behind me, I've already mapped most of this stuff, but I haven't done anything with the Peak yet. So I thought I'd just start with a couple very simple, very obvious parameters. Okay, so let's look at the device. The first thing, let's go in the setup menu. See, so right now it's on the Peak. It's in that first slot. I named it ahead of time, and I recommend if you get when you're getting off the ground with this thing, I think that's a good way to go, is to go into the setup menu, name the slots, name the devices that you intend to map, and then you can go into the group menu and name the individual groups. Okay, so for something like the Peak, I haven't gamed out in my head exactly how I'm going to do it, but I think I'm going to use I've decided to use the MIDI implementation tables from the user manual as a guide. So there will be like a subgroup for the oscillator section, which I already named there, subgroup for the filter, subgroup for the mixer, and just so on and so forth down the line. I think that's a good way to do it. But I recommend that you go ahead and name it first. Okay, so I'll demonstrate that. Let's say I wanted to add a slot here next to the Digitakt. Let's say I want to add a Prophet to my setup. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go into the function button, push and hold, and you see these four labels here. They correspond with the four far right encoders. Okay, so you see name is the third one down. That's encoder 12. You're just going to push and hold the blue button and then push the encoder. So now we're in the name menu. Then you got to go to either a setup or a group that you want to name. So let's go to setup. And I want to name this next slot after the Digitakt. The way I do that is to push and hold the shift button and then the corresponding encoder, which I believe is that one. And so now we're in that slot, and now it's just a matter of, you probably saw the loop hop video. It's just like the old push button dialing telephones. Let's see. And so you make a mistake. I don't want a PRQ. These go back and forth. So I can just go back into that slot and just make it PRPH, say. Okay, so there's my Prophet. All right, so and then I can name the next slot, or I can just leave the menu, the name menu, and go into edit. So I don't have a Prophet, so I'll just go ahead and delete that. We're going to go into the Peak. Okay, so first thing I want to do is get out of the name menu, because if I just go into the Peak slot, all it's going to do is have me rename. So I don't want to do that. So let's go just function and then name. Now I'm out of the menu. Now I'm going to go to setup and pick the Peak. Okay. Now this is what I initially get, but like I said, I'm going to divide the Peak into subgroups, the parameters. So let's go with group 2. I haven't done anything, by the way, with the first one, okay, except I did map, filter, and frequency resonance. I'm going to do the same thing with the second subgroup. And the reason is filter, frequency, and resonance obviously are the most bang for the buck when you're jamming, and I want to have it on every page. At least that's my thinking right now. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So again, using the advice that we picked our group, using the advice that I initially mentioned about naming first, I'm going to name them. So let's go back into the name menu and pick my slot. Let's call this filter. I could call it filter cut or whatever. Name them whatever you want. And let's go to resonance. All right, so they're named. Remember, the next step is to get out of the name menu. Now we're going to go into not the setup menu, but the edit menu, which is a little unintuitive. And it's already, for some reason, on encoder 16. It's also already on channel 1, which is convenient because that just happens to be the channel that my peak is tuned to. All right, so I don't need to mess with that. But if I wanted to, this is how I would do it. If I wanted to change the encoder, I would use this knob right here. You gotta kind of learn just trial and error, which they're roughly correspond to the order of the knobs. But so encoder 16 is the filter cutoff, and per the MIDI implementation table in the user manual, filter cutoff or filter frequency is 29. So I'll just change that to 29. All right, and then I don't have to get out of the menu. I can just go to the next encoder, which I'm going backwards, but it's 15. That's resonance. Resonance is 79. Okay, and that's done. Now I can go out of the edit menu before I do anything else, and now I've got them mapped. Okay, let's go ahead and see if it worked. So that little stab or pluck, whatever you want to call it, that's the peak. So you can see the resonance, the filter frequency, those are both responding. So that it's as simple as that. All right. So then it's just a matter of going in there and you know, editing the rest of the parameters slot by slot. And you can do a lot of different things with the, you know, you can change the type of the type of value. I've got it set on CC numbers absolute, but you know, you can put in NRPN values. You can also change the how sensitive your encoders are with this mode button. You know, there are some like Division 8, Division 4, things like settings like that are useful for parameters like, say, like a waveform where you've only got 3 or 4 selections. So it's very customizable. Okay. Let's see. I think I messed. Let's see. CC. CC absolute. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about one more thing real quick. I'm going to go out of the peak and go into my Digitakt. As you can imagine, something like, you know, where you've got a lot of parameters that you're mapping, this is going to be very cumbersome if by chance you're mapping the same parameters from one group to the next. So that's how the Digitakt, how I've got it set up. I've got track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, and the parameters that I chose to map are the same from one track to the next. So it's very unintuitive trying to figure out how to copy and paste. So I just want to demonstrate that real quick. All right, so we're in group, subgroup. I've got the first 4 tracks mapped. Let's say I want to go into subgroup 5 there. Well, first of all, in keeping with my earlier advice, I'm going to name it. So subgroup 5, I'm going to name it according to Digitakt. There's subtitles for each track. It's kick, snare, tom, clap, and cowbell. That, you know, you don't have to name it like that. You can name them track 1 through 8 if you want, but I'm just going to go with cowbell. So let's go COW. All right, and then we'll go out of the name menu, and now we're going to go into this menu and go into, actually I made a mistake. So this is, I'm glad that this is, first you want to go into the group that you're copying. So that would be, I'll just go to the first one. They're all the same. I'll just go into kick. Okay, now you're going to go into the setup menu. Okay, setup, so that's function, and then this first encoder here. And then you're going to, in order to copy, you're just going to momentarily press encoder 8. All right, why encoder 8? I don't know. And then you're going to press the button that corresponds with what you want. So copy current group, it's this encoder. And you're going to hold it until all the buttons fill up. Now it's in the queue to copy. I can go to the group, go to the group that I want to copy to. I'm still in setup. Now the paste encoder is this one, this third one down. Okay, and that gives me this sub menu. I'm going to paste the group and I'm going to press the encoder that corresponds, not this one, but this one, and hold it. Okay, now that is copied. I'm going to go to that fifth subgroup. So I'm going to get out of the setup menu. And now this should work. I hope this works. So over here on my Digitakt, you see I've got, let's get this thing running. So this fifth track is just whatever this little percussive piece is. So I'm going to go over here to my controller, and it's not working. Okay, I'm glad I made a mistake. It copied correctly, it pasted correctly, but you got to go back into the edit menu for that subgroup, and you got to change the channel. So track 5 for my setup, let's see, this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's channel 11. So you got to go into your setup menu, your edit menu, I'm sorry, and change the channel. I'll go ahead and do 16 as well. I won't do all of them. But, all right, get out of edit. Let's try this again. Let's make sure I'm on track 5. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There it is. All right, for some reason it took a second to kick in there. All right, so hopefully that helped a little bit. Yeah, hopefully that helped a little bit. Someone will find this useful. I apologize for the shaky camera. I'm not a tutorial guy, but I had so much trouble getting this thing up and running that I thought maybe I would try to do this. So I hope someone finds it helpful. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. I don't have everything figured out, but if I can help, I'm happy to try. All right, take care. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their weekend, and maybe we'll see you down the road.